everyone, here we are again at Luminosity Beach Festival. This time it's 2013 and we're doing the third video in a row with Sean Tyas himself. Hi, how are you doing?
Really, really good. Happy to be doing this. So this is the third time. This is now a complete tradition now. So yeah, I mean, I think it's my fifth time at Luminosity, so.
Lumi is at new location right now in a different city. How do you like it so far?
So far from what I've seen, the stages look pretty awesome. I know this was a relatively last-minute change, but I mean, they always make it work and they always pull it out. I mean, they were prepared for rain today as well. As you can tell, the tents were kind of gotten ready to be set up, but yeah, there's no need. The sun is shining and it's beautiful, so.
We are right in the peak season, in the peak time of summer right now, and gigs are floating big time. Tell us something more about Ibiza. We haven't talked about Ibiza before, and you've been for quite some years at Paradis.
I mean, that was my second year there, and yeah, it's been a cool place to go. I mean, last year I was there like 6 times. This year I think 2 or 3 times, and it's just, you know, it's a nice place to go to. Yeah, I mean, Ibiza's great. I mean, I just wish I got to go there with bigger groups of people. It gets a bit lonely to go solo, and you're rocking out in Ibiza, and it's not as cool when you're alone. So when you're there for work, as opposed to being a proper, you know, vacationer or partier there.
You're also into the peak of your celebrations of Tytaniym 200. How did you choose the locations this time?
Just kind of went one by one, especially with concentrating on like places that hadn't been yet. Like for example, like Zouk in Singapore. That was an awesome place to be able to host one there, and yeah, really proud. I mean, I definitely had one here in this very venue. Yeah, a few other places as well. Of course, New York. So yeah, it's just always nice to kind of. I think there will always be one in New York anyway, but I think it's going to slow down because now the radio show has gone from weekly to monthly, so that every 50 shows is now going to be every 2 years, unfortunately. No, even longer, every 4 years. But that's okay. I mean, I reached the milestone, and now at this point I want to more focus on just making tracks again, because when you do the weekly show, you just don't have time to do it anymore.
You also did a compilation, which is about Tytaniym 200. Did it take you long to put the track list together? How did you work with the other artists to take them?
It took me a very long time to put the track list together because it's complicated. When you put together a compilation, it's like you know, it's not really politics, but I mean, some labels have different conditions that you have to meet, and they want either cash up front for the track. So you know, you have to negotiate with every single one. And Chris Hampshire from Recover World does a great job with the negotiations with the labels and everything. So I think everything came together very quickly. I contracted out the artwork, so really proud to like the design looks sick. It's from my favorite label designer out of New York, not label, flyer designer. So yeah, I mean it's a product that I'm really, really proud to show off.
This is how the CD looks like, and it's already out, and you can order it. And even the first 50 CDs are going to be personally signed by Sean Tyas. And right now you have the chance to actually win one of them, which are going to be personally signed by him. The question is, you need to find out which was the first location for celebrating Tytaniym 200. Maybe the location right now could give you a little bit of hint, and leave a comment in the sections below.
That's a good question. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's it? Done?
No.
Okay. Oh, that's right, the 2-parter.
Now the top ones come.
Let's go with the top ones. I like the top ones better.
With electronic music being so popular right now, it seems like electronic music has reached an even higher level than what pop music used to be before, or rock music used to be before. And there is a lot of drama going on right now. And I think the latest trend in dramas in electronic dance music is ghost producing. What do you think about this?
I mean, of course, I mean, when I started my career, I used to do it for other people, and that's no secret. People know I did it for people. So, I mean, it's great to be on the pay side, where you're the one that's paid to do the ghost producing. But, I mean, as far as somebody who... I mean, I feel bad saying it, but I mean, like, I don't know how you live with yourself if you're actually putting tracks out with your name on it that you didn't even sit in the studio for. I mean, I don't really know how people can get over doing it that way. So, I mean, there is a need for it, and of course, you have ghost producing done on every single level, even at the very top levels. We won't even name names, but. I mean, if you're not, I mean, there's 2 different things. There's 2 different levels of ghost producing. There's the ghost producers that aren't even in the room, and they just buy a track and put their name on it. And then you have the second level, which I still don't really respect, but I hate much less, is the people that are in the room with the proper engineer as he makes their ideas kind of come to life, if they have ideas. So, you know, that's not as bad, but, you know, I guess it's a necessary evil at this point, because that's why we have so many artists. Because I bet you probably of those artists, only probably 60% of them are actually making their own stuff.
And do you think that reaching such a high level in someone's career where you have 200 gigs per year and you have family and you have all that stuff, this is something that's actually inevitable?
No, it's not needed. I got 2 kids. I have a family at home. What I did have to do is cut back on doing a monthly radio show. I mean, like, you just can't. You can't have tracks out every 2 weeks. You can't have a weekly radio show, and you can't be doing gigs every weekend. And you can't have a family at the same time. You just can't do all those things. So what I chose to do is downsize the show and get focused on just the tracks. You have to know your limits. Of course, if you've got $1 million budget per every 6 months, you can pay everyone you want to make whatever tracks you need. Like, oh, I feel like I want 5 progressive trance tracks, 5 trance tracks, and 5 progressive house tracks this month. Then somebody could just buy it, but that sucks.
And another very sensitive topic as well is sexism in trance music. Do you believe that females are not capable of being as good as men?
They're capable. They just need to. They need to go through exactly what we did. You know, we all. I mean, as I know, as guys, we're all geeks at heart. There's no way around it. And you know, I'd be sitting on a beach in New York and just reading a 2-inch thick Logic manual. I can't really see a girl doing that. I don't really find that there's that much sexism in the industry. It's just, I mean, of course, females get a relatively bad rap, but they shouldn't. I mean, they're trying just as hard as everybody else. But what I want to see is, I want to see a girl walk up to me and talk shop with me, and then. You know, then the whole sexism thing goes out the window. I know, like, you know, people like Olafini, she knows her gear, she knows her software, and she's constantly learning, and I have lots of respect for that. I need, you know, any female that wants to get respect by the males in the industry, because of course, there's no lying here. It's a male-run industry. You know, if they want respect, they just need to talk the talk and walk the walk with us.
Back to a topic from last year is with you switching styles. Some people were very happy, some people are not happy, but you actually came back to the up-tempo, high BPM Team 140 stuff. It's not okay. Let me just correct you real quick. There was never a switch. It was just more or less. I had to make other stuff. Improvisation. No, it wasn't. Let's say expansion, and I needed to see some other techniques. I mean, the reason I got so not bored of trance, but I needed to kind of sow my oats for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, okay, for example, like you have so many guys that have been beating the shit out of the same fucking template that they work in for the last 7 years. It's the same fucking track with different chord progressions that are not original anyway, and the same pluck melodies, the same super saw stuff, and it's like, you know, that's great. That's what trance is. Okay, great. That's what, you know, rock is: distorted guitar, drums, and a lead man. Fine, that doesn't really change, but. You know, I just didn't feel like trance evolved, and you know what other stuff was pissing me off, like we had already talked about. You know, too many people were getting ghost jobs done. The politics were getting absolutely disgusting. People were getting way too proud of themselves and patting themselves on the back for using template-driven tracks, and it was just disgusting. And I got disgusted for a bit. But now with people, new faces really coming up, like Darren Porter, photographer, and like, you know, bringing definitely a second wind to the whole genre. And also, I like Giuseppe Ottaviani's new album too. That's really, you know, that's kind of, he's a more minimal and peeled back approach to trance music, and that's also, you know, that motivated me to like, okay, I need to pick up the pace again with the trance stuff. And like, you know, I learned a lot in the last 12 or 18 months with producing the electro, and that's fine, but this stuff can be applied to trance and make sick acids, really even better lead lines and better mastering as well. So I'm excited to bring it all back. Do you think that actually electro has inspired you to do better trance?
Not electro necessarily. Actually, oddly enough, what's taken a huge percentage of my iTunes on my iPhone is drum and bass. I mean, drum and bass has got so much energy to it. And if anybody wants to go Team 140, so I'm going to Team 174 you. It's like even faster. It's even more intense. So yeah, I mean, it's really cool. And these elements that I'm finding in drum and bass are really inspiring me to make better music overall.
Can we see you do a drum and bass track one day?
Yeah, there's going to be at least probably 1 or 2 on the album.
And you're still doing the electro stuff, right? You use your Switch name alias.
That'll be under my real name too, but I'm not doing so much just pure electro stuff. I'm trying to find what I'd like to do right now is take the best parts of what I learned in the last 18 months and put them right back into what I'm known for.
And you restarted your label Tytaniym last year, and you didn't really want to work with it before, but right now you're having some very good releases coming out over there. Are you back to enjoying the label work?
Yes. I mean, the reason I wasn't enjoying it before was more label politics before, but now being part of Recover World, and Chris Hampshire's doing a great job doing all the bookkeeping behind the scenes, and he's on top of any problem that I have. It's not like I'm waiting for answers in emails for days. So this is great. Yeah, I'm enjoying it now.
You're doing a lot of collaborations lately. You haven't done so many before. Where did that come from?
It's more about just kind of it's kind of on the same theme of just expansion, learning, and yeah. I mean, I had a good conversation with Giuseppe Ottaviani about maybe a year ago, and he was saying, I say I don't want to, I'm not really trusting of people. I'm very secretive and stuff like that. He's like, you're never going to get to the next step if you don't trust people. So what I've learned to do now is just trust people and kind of go with the flow, and it's been so much better and more pleasant.
Do you have any more lined up, collabs, I mean?
Yes, I do. I got one with Darren. I'm going to debut tonight. Let's see, what else? I've started one. I've started one with Photographer. The other one, I've done doing 2 tracks with Noah Neiman, and also doing 6 tracks with singer Fisher.
6 tracks with Fisher?
6 tracks with Fisher.
You're going to do a combined album together?
Well, I'm doing 3 tracks for her album, and then she owes me 3, so that's the deal.
Oh, that's great. And we haven't talked about embarrassing moments. We only talk about the good side. What's your most embarrassing moment at a gig?
I probably have a couple of them. I think most people know my history. It's pretty colored. And yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, people get a little bit drunk at a gig and forget which deck is playing. So that's always the most embarrassing moment. I don't remember what the biggest party that I've done that at. Probably Trance Energy Sydney. That was pretty embarrassing.
You forgot what deck you're playing?
Yeah, I did.
You mentioned that you're doing a collab with Fisher. Any other singers in line?
Yes, I have another one coming up with Alana Aldea out of Australia. And I think that's it for the singers at the moment. But I'm always open to new demos. So if you want to sing for a track and you got a great voice, send it over.
And how is it to work with singers who are, like you said, Australia? It's such a big difference. You can't actually sit together and do it together. How does it work?
It's a lot of back and forth and a lot of waiting because, of course, when you send them back an email, they're most likely sleeping where they are. So you have to wait another 12 hours for the email response and everything. But basically, the track was more or less kind of fleshed out already. I had sent it over to Alana to start, fleshing out. When her voice was good to go, then she sends me back the demo. I took the parts and I started fleshing it out. And now I've sent it back to her, and we need a couple extra lines. And yeah, that's how that's going. With Fisher, it's even easier because it's she also works with her husband also on the writing and stuff like that. They are an incredible team and they're just a monster. When I send Fisher a track, I usually have a demo back in my email by the morning. It's sick.
We are in the middle of 2013. What was the highlight for you so far, and what do you mostly look forward to in the upcoming months?
I think the highlight of this year probably would be A State of Trance episode 600 in Minsk. I mean, that was insane. I mean, the venue was insane. Also, you get the Belarus crowd, which are ridiculous. And
Eastern European crowd is like this.
It's insane. For trance music, it's a religion out there. So, yeah, really good.
Anything big coming up in the next 6 months?
Probably my favorite thing going back would be a couple of trips to the USA to play in a couple of territories that I haven't been yet, and a couple of clubs I haven't been yet. Like just for example, a couple of weeks ago I was in LA to play at Avalon, and that was just sick. I mean, I had never played at Avalon before, and that was great to go to. And I'm doing a new venue in New York for a promotion company called Escala, and also going down to Charlotte, North Carolina, and going back to DC in all November, which is my birthday month. So heavy celebration is in order. So.
Okay, and to wrap it up, what can we look forward to at your Luminosity set, which is actually going to be recorded and it's going to be available for download on the Luminosity page? And what can we wait for you just from the future?
Very, very fast trance tonight, guys. Get ready.